We're in trances, going all to different places, different planets. Watch your aura pass me by, losing balance. What if we run out of time and second chances? Empty-handed, you love fast life.
Praise the Lord and good evening to you all. Thank you so much for joining me on Let's Talk with Sandra, my show that's going to be airing Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. As a current resident of Gary, Indiana, my show is going to be showcasing Gary and the surrounding areas. I have only been living in Gary for 1 year, but in the state of Indiana for 2. And as a person that travels very often, I would like to say I'm a world-class traveler. What I noticed was when you move to different states, whether it be Gary, whether it be Baltimore, whether it be DC, whether it be wherever, what you see as a new resident is usually what you get or what you assume that's the way it is. So living in Gary, prior to me living in Gary, I remember being introduced to Gary, driving through and saying, wow, that looks like it used to be a nice house. That looks like it used to be a nice house. And my response would be, oh, you don't want to live in Gary. Oh, Gary's not a good place to be. But after now becoming a resident of Gary, living here and talking to the older residents of Gary, the ones that have been here, the ones that have lived here, the ones that were born here. So they've been here 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, 80 years. What they've taught me and have shown me and is the history, the rich history that Gary has. And what I've seen for myself is the beauty that Gary has and the potential for Gary to be that place that tourists may want to come to. You know, I remember as a little girl listening to the Jackson 5, and they were from Gary, Indiana. And Gary, Indiana was, you know, a big deal and a place that I've always wanted to see. So I was pretty excited when I moved to Gary and I went to visit the home that Michael Jackson and his brothers and sisters, Janet, etc., that they were born in, and to see that it was not a big home, you know, it was a small home on a regular street, not a mansion or anything, but that alone is just one thing. But Gary has the best beaches. It has the potential to have the prettiest parks. The lot of the homes, even though they may be a little run down, they're exquisite as far as the size, as far as the potential to rebuild and to just to make it pretty. And talking to my moms and pops, as I call them, respect to my elders, you know, when they told me about what it was like being raised in Gary and the stores and the shops and the shopping and the hustle bustle of Gary, and you know, it just does something to me. To never judge a book by its cover. You simply cannot do that. And so I have been pretty active in trying to be a positive change or a help to be a positive person in the change that Gary will have, you know, under the leadership of our current mayor, Jerome Prince, who I think is doing an excellent job. And since being here, I have noticed some changes. You know, there's new businesses opening up and new storefronts, and it just needs that economic boost, but the potential is here. And there's great people here. There's so much talent in Gary, Indiana. And so I'm excited. And so I decided to use this platform as a way to showcase, talk to the local residents of Gary, showcase Gary. Some of my posts and maybe live, we may be on the beach, we may be in the streets, and some may be pre-recorded, just me talking to the residents, talking to the ones that I respect and look up to, showing you the churches that are in Gary. My church is the Tree of Life Missionary Baptist Church, and that church, my church, has such a history that I'm not at all familiar with, but we have churchgoers that are in my church that have been attended since they were little teenagers, young folks, So again, that's another part of the history. That's another part of Gary. Sometimes I may be in another state and I may want to share something with you that I'm seeing or hearing about wherever I'm at that precise moment. So once again, I thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope that you will support my show and subscribe so that we can learn together, so that we can grow together, so that we can encourage, so that we can put out positive thoughts and encourage positive change, help show our young ones that all hope is not lost, that if we do it together as a team, if we do it together as a family, like they say, it takes a village, we can have something really, they can have something really beautiful for their future. And they can learn so much from our veterans, as I want to call them, our veterans of Gary, the ones that have been here. So I'm pretty excited. Once again, thank you. My name is Sandra. For those who know me, you all know that I go hard. I stay busy doing God's work and good work, because if it's God and it's good, I'm there. I spend a lot of time volunteering. I volunteered at the Food Bank of Northwest Indiana for 2 years. I'm now there as the volunteer coordinator, so I get to meet so many different people, so many different personalities, all young, and I absolutely love it, because the Food Bank of Northwest Indiana also services the Gary area, and part of my service there was delivering food to our seniors. And doing my delivery, I got a chance to drive down some streets of Gary that I've never would even known that was there. It's beautiful, beautiful homes. Gary is so large. Gary, Indiana is very large. And it's beautiful, beautiful beaches, beautiful parks. And the best is yet to come. I want you all to really know this, and remember the things that I'm going to show you, and the places that I'm going to show you, and the pictures and the thing, because in the next maybe year or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or even 10, those places are going to look so different, and I feel that in my heart. I hope that you enjoy this show. Tune in. We're going to have fun. It's going to be very relaxed. My first guest is James Piggy. If you're from Gary, Indiana, AKA Coach. An awesome, awesome, awesome representation of a Gary resident. Someone that cares, someone that loves Gary, someone that's highly respected in Gary. So, Mr. James Piggy, like I call him Pops, my Pops. aka Coach, will be my first guest on the Let's Talk with Sandra show. We're going to drive through the city of Gary. He's going to show you and tell you things that you may not know. Some things you may already know. But it's going to be so much fun, and I'm excited. I hope to just make this fun, make it relaxing. If you want to share something with me on the show, and you want me to come out and see it so we can talk about it and post it, and you can send me an email at letstalksandra22@gmail.com, and I'll respond to that, and we'll make that date. You know, I'm talking to all ages. We're going to talk about the past, the present, and the future of Gary, Indiana. Thank you. Hope you enjoy the show. Peace and love.
We're in trances, going all to different places, different planets. Watch your aura pass me by, losing balance. What if we run out of time and second chances? Empty-handed, you left fast life.